What did you go away for?
Punching someone at a pub. It was my mate's dad's pub, so I've got a lot of attachment to this venue. I walked out the front of the gig at the end of the night, and there was a hippie anarchist riding Form 1 Planet on the front of the pub. I got into an argument with him. He was pretty provocative, and I was pretty drunk. I lost my temper and I punched him a few times.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode I Forget of the Spearhead Sundays podcast. Very, very special episode today because we are joined by a very special guest, one of my best friends, Andrew Greeley, fresh out of prison.
Ew!
Welcome back, mate. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
You made it out. How long were you in for?
All up 9 months.
Any crazy stories?
There's this one guy called Keith. Keith isn't very smart. He'd ask me how to write the number 23 for the date and things like that. And
what do you mean, like 2, 3?
2, 3.
The numbers?
Yeah.
Not spell it?
No, not spell it. You're not very smart at all.
Yeah.
And I went to church and medium because it was a positive thing, you know, like.
Yeah.
And so I'd go up to church just for something to do for the week. I was on Sunday Arvos. We get in there, and Keith came to church. He's sitting there, and they're talking about becoming a Christian and being born again in the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And being a born again Christian. And Keith looks around the room and goes, "Do you guys mean that you actually have to get born again?" And he's like looking around like, "This is no laughing matter."
I don't want to be put into a giant pussy.
Yeah. And we're like, "You got to climb back up there, Keith." And then he's like, and he asked the guys in church to pray for him.
Yeah.
So they prayed for him. And the one thing that the guys from church, they bring coffee. It's like an incentive to get people to come to church. And then at the end of it, after they pray for Keith and they finish church, Keith just steals the coffee.
All of it?
Yeah. He like stashed it in a cup and then put another cup over it. And we get back out and I'm like, "Keith." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Bro, you can't steal the coffee. It's the church." And he's like, "Oh, what?" I'm like, "Mate, you're dogging the big boy upstairs."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, you call me a dog?" I'm like, I was like, "Well, you stole the coffee, Keith. You got them to pray for you, mate. And then you stole that coffee. I'm disappointed." And he was like, "Oh, now you're making me feel bad." "Well, you stole from church, Keith." And he's just like, "Do you want some coffee?" I'm like, "No, I don't want the coffee. It's the principle, Keith." And then one day I was chilling with the bloke, Tomo, that threw the rock at the TRG. Keith walks over and Tomo goes, "What's going on, Keith?" He goes, "Oh, this fella up here is mouthing off about me." Tomo goes, "Go bash him, Keith." Keith goes, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, go bash him." He goes, "Thanks, Tomo." Starts running off. Then Tomo goes, "Keith, come back. He runs back over. "What's going on, Tomo?" He goes, "How long you got to parole?" He's like, "Oh, a month I can go for parole." He goes, "Don't bash him then, Keith. Don't bash him." Keith goes, "Sure?" He's like, "Nah, don't bash him, mate. You're right. Just ignore it, Keith. You got parole, you know." And he's like, "All right, Tomo." Runs back off. And he's like, "Keith, come back. Yeah, Tomo?" He's like, "Go bash him."
Did he do it?
Runs straight over and starts bashing the bloke. And the screws come in and they grab him and cuff him up and drag him off. And we're going, "On you, Woodsy!" And he's going, "You're the boys!" And he's getting dragged away in cuffs.
Oh, fuck.
And he lost his parole.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Of course.
I looked over to Tomo, I'm like, "You're a bad." And he was like...
And do you have a cellmate?
I did for the first 2 weeks. Yeah, he was a bit hard to put up with. So I just sat there and bit my tongue for a couple of weeks. And in these cells, you know, it's a bunk bed, a little kind of desk off the end of the bed, a shelf, a toilet and a shower. So you have to wake up to the sound of someone taking a shit every morning.
Oh, that's not good.
No, I've got this little air freshener. It's like an air wick freshener you can buy off the canteen, and I keep it up on my mattress. Yeah. And as soon as I wake up to the sound of his shit hitting a metal toilet, I just grab the air freshener and just sit there, put the pillow over my head, and just go to my happy place, just rocking back and forth.
Oh, no. Yeah, because I guess jail food wouldn't produce the most healthy poos.
Nah, it makes everyone fart. Everyone's fart smells the same because they're all eating the same food. You know what I mean?
Who did that? Fuck, it could be anyone.
Yeah, the whole yard. Like,
yeah.
And then you've got, you got 200 people walking in circles just farting.
Just walking into the person in front of them's fart. Oh, that's disgusting. Cop this.
Yeah, and then passing it on.
In your nose, out your ass.
It's pretty close to the human centipede.
You know, it could just be the same fart. There's only ever been one 200-year-old fart, and everyone's just inhaling and exhaling it through their ass. It's a cycle.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
We've been writing each other letters. My favourite letter was the one describing when there was a riot in the prison. That sounded fucking insane.
That was awesome. So what happened was, because they've got the bupe dose. Do you know what bupe is?
Nah.
It's a synthetic opiate for opiate addicts.
Right.
And when you get, it's kind of like the new methadone program. And so, you know, out of the whole yard, there's like about 15 guys that are on the program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the doctor decided that he wasn't going to give the bupe dose that day, and he just went home and knocked off and told the whole jail, wait till tomorrow. And so
you had a bunch of people going, I need me fucking bupe.
Yep, everyone just went, fuck this, we're not going back. So at 4:30, they call out food handlers to the top of the ramp, and I was a food handler.
Yeah.
And that's the signal for the food handlers to go up to the top of the ramp. Everyone else goes back to their units. The food handlers get the food, come down, give out the food for dinner, and then go into the unit, and it's locked down for the night, you know?
Yeah.
So as soon as they've gone food handlers to the top of the ramp, everyone just kept walking. After about 10 minutes of walking around, realising they're just getting ignored, the screws were like, all right, we're going. And they've left. And it was just like, what do we do now?
Yeah, fuck. So no guards now.
No guards, we're just all here. And all of a sudden, this little Elijah and another fella climb up on the roof. Right?
Yeah.
And they're up on the roof, and they're standing there looking at the cameras on the roof going... And we're all going, belly up, fellas. So they've taken their shirts off and wrapped it around their heads. But not like, they've been on the roof staring at the camera for 2 minutes. The camera's got them. As soon as they got on the roof, the whole yard just started going,
we can do anything.
Yes. This is sick. People are running in, grabbing mattresses, blankets, going and throwing it up on the roof to them.
Yeah.
And then in comes the TRG. So the TRG is a tactical response group.
Oh, no.
So it's like, you know, the full black helmet, black gas masks, tear gas with the black shotguns with rubber bullets.
Rubber bullets, I mean, yeah.
From where we could see their van, like their big TRG van pulling in. We're like, here they come. At that point, fellas started flipping tennis tables on their side and bringing it onto the grass and flipping other picnic tables.
Getting ready for the siege.
Yeah, for this get barriers, and everyone's going, stand together, boys, you know.
Yeah. And what are you doing?
I'm just there going, this is sick. I was just getting goosebumps. It was such like the pack mentality of it. I was just like, this is the best fucking thing that's happened in weeks. This is awesome. This is like it was.
I was reading a letter going, this is sick. I wish I was there.
Yeah. It was awesome. My mate, this fella Tomo, he ended up going up to the side to where this garden is, which is kind of the closest you could get to where the TRG were coming in, but it's still about 300 metres away. Tomo's grabbed a rock and lobbed it, and this rock went over like the prison garden, over the like walkway, which is all caged in and stuff, and hit one of the TRGs in the head.
Put that in the Olympics. Yeah. Did you take him out?
Didn't knock him out, but it clocked in. So at that point, the TRG just started pumping tear gas into the yards. It was like dun 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 dun. Yeah. It was just raining tear gas canisters, and then everyone's getting t-shirts and getting them wet and running out and throwing wet t-shirts on the tear gas canisters. There's tear gas everywhere, so everyone's like starting to tear up and cry.
Yeah.
And in comes the TRG. They've come in like hands on each other's shoulders, full like SWAT team, you know, doing hand signals, and
wow.
They've come down the landing, and at that point is where I went, I've had enough. I don't want to get shot with a rubber bullet. I went back up to my unit. Yeah, and then held the door open for the rest of the fellas that were coming into my unit. Yeah. And, and then shut the door, and they locked the doors. The TRG came down.
So if you weren't in your cell by that moment, you were just participating? Because you couldn't get in the cell if they locked them then.
Yeah, well, the thing is we chocked all the doors. Right. Because they could only lock the doors once it's actually shut, so we put T-shirts down so everyone could get back in. Yeah. But as they came down, like...
Fuck, you guys were prepared.
Yeah.
You really knew what you were doing. T-shirts on the tear gas, well, open the doors.
So I got back to my unit, but so much of the rest of the yard got caught up down in the kind of bottom side of it, and they all had to go and hide in units that weren't theirs. Yeah. And so they generally, I think they shot a couple people with the rubber bullets. Yeah. And let off a few rounds, and they came through. As we were getting back, they shot a tear gas canister like about a metre away from our unit, so our unit just got dutched out anyway. We're all in there.
And you can't open the door to kick it away.
No, exactly. Yeah, and they're just burning a hole in the ground. So it was about 2 hours of the TRG going to every unit, finding who was in there that wasn't meant to be in there, and rearranging them all. Yeah. Taking them back to here and here and here and here. my mate Django, he was caught in a different unit, and they brought him back in, and we're all cheering, going, yeah, boy. And he's walked in the unit, and like they've uncuffed him, and he's just walked in like, yeah. It was fun. It was so much fun.
It just sounds like high school with tear gas.
Yeah, it pretty much is. After they put everyone back in the units, then they brought us dinner and our desserts. And we're just...
You still got dessert?
We still got dessert. And we're there just yelling at them, bring us our desserts, you slaves. Like, ha, we win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you riot and still get pudding, you fucking win.
Exactly. Like, and Cocoa Pops.
Oh, you win.
Yeah.
You got rewarded.
Exactly. Cocoa Pops and dessert. It was beautiful.
Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt. Buy my shit, buy my shirts, buy my merchant, no one gets hurt.